agenda is consider a request to close the 100 block of East 5th and 6th and Oak Street from 5th to 7th Street and the intersection of Broadway and Oak on Sunday, April 28th from noon to 7 o'clock p.m. for Newton Open Street. Rebecca.
Sure, I'll start us off here, but we have representation from the applicant here. This is from the Harvey County Health Department. They are looking to close those streets and those intersections as you named for their inaugural Newton Open Street event. This is a free community building event to bring Newtonians of all ages and levels of fitness out to come and enjoy hiking, walking, biking, rolling, and moving up and down the street and for some social engagement. Lori, would you like to come and talk more about that?
I don't know if anyone's been to the Open Streets event in Wichita, but that would give you an idea of what it's like. And the idea is just to take the street and turn it into a place for people for a set period of time. A lot of places do it every Sunday. I think that probably is a little bit much for us right now, but we want to try it for the first time this April. And it would sort of be the idea, if you think about it, Taste of Newton is already an Open Streets event. Mm-hmm. But there's so much going on in the street that there's no place for people to like ride their bikes, to roll, to skateboard, to roller skate, to walk, whatever, play, whatever they want to do. And the idea is that it would be more open for people to be able to just congregate and make it basically the street into a park for a while. Don't know if you have any questions about what we're doing, what we're asking.
I think we're pretty familiar with
I have one
that
question.
concept, yes.
I've heard back and forth that you wanted the intersection of Broadway and Oak closed and then that you didn't. I just want to get it right for traffic control.
We are flexible. In Wichita, if you've been to it, they leave the big arterial streets open and just warn people use the crossings. And we're fine with that. If it's not a problem to close it, we're fine with that. We're very flexible. We just wanted it really, and I know that the library is still going to be in flux then with the old one being torn down, but the librarians were wanting to be involved with it and asked if we could bring people up that far. That's why we had asked for it to go on up to 7th. And then we're also hoping that we can get like some of the safety stuff, since safety fair is still sort of up in the air, see about getting some of the safety equipment and stuff down there for people to look at, which would normally be doing on a weekend in April anyway. So.
Okay.
So that's why we were wanting it that far, but we're flexible because this is an experiment.
Okay.
And Lori, can I just ask also about the parking lot? You really want the street to be closed at the parking lot, not necessarily right at Main and 6th.
Yeah,
Is that correct?
I think just for convenience for people that would be going in and out of that parking lot. Because I know there's people that live up above Haircutting Company. They park back there just for convenience, and then that way to also give people that are coming a place to park.
Okay.
So yeah, I would
Thank
like
you.
for at least half of that parking lot to be available for people to get to.
Okay. I say we stick with keeping the intersection closed at Broadway and Oak. If we're going to have people riding bicycles through, I don't want them to think that it's closed and it not be. That means we will detour traffic. We have to detour it clear over at High Street, and we'll take it from High to 8th. And we'll go ahead and we'll close off 6th Street on the east side of that parking lot. Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Yep.
Any other questions or comments?
Nope.
I'm excited to see what happens.
Yeah.
Super excited. I'm super excited.
So they're going to do like the picnic tables in the middle of the street like they do in Wichita?
We're going to do the picnic tables. We've asked for the picnic tables. We've got some funding to cover like porta potties and all of that. And then because it is the first time we've done it, we're trying to get more organizations to come down. Mm-hmm. It sort of grew naturally in Wichita, but we really want to get like maybe some of the performance groups down there, like the Azteca dancers and that sort of thing, just to give people some reason to come down and experience it rather than just, you want me to go down and play in the street? You know, just to give it a little more organization to start with.
Awesome.
So.
You're going to get out your skateboard? Yeah. Really? Go ahead.
You bet.
Yeah.
Oh, and Rod, just to let you know, we are going to be doing the Get Your Bike Out of the Garage event at that event. Like you asked for last year. We're going to be
Pretty fun.
having bike maintenance and some
Yeah.
other stuff going on too.
I'll help
So-
you out.
So bring your bike.
I had a bike. I had it for like 20 years, and I think it's got 17 miles on it.
You can take care of it that day and add more.
Okay, what do you want to do?
I would move, go ahead.
I move that we approve this event.
I second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next item, consider request to close Athletic Park Circle on April 6th from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. for the Eagle 5K. I guess that's Denise.
Okay, this is a request from the Newton Bible Christian Church, and this is an event that they hold every year. They are just wanting to close Athletic Park Circle to get people around. In that, on April 6th, they're closing from 7 a.m. to 11 a.m., and staff has reviewed this request and is okay with it.
Okay.
Okay,
I would move that we accept that.
got
I'll
a
second.
motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next item, consider request from Harvey County Habitat for Humanity to waive permit fees for their project at 604 East 10th. And that is Rebecca.
Thank you. So once again, before you, the City Commission, is a fee waiver request for Habitat for Humanity. They usually come to us with one of their new builds and ask for us to waive their building fees and tap fees and connection piece items like that to help with the cost of building these infill developments that they utilize. You'll notice that the total fees come to $2,910.86. We end up rebating those from our economic development fund, so we reimburse ourselves those lost fees. So that's what part of your action tonight will be for. And just to make you aware, on a separate issue to this, is that they also utilize our neighborhood revitalization program grant, our neighborhood revitalization program to help offset the increase of property taxes for those 5 years. So they use a lot of our programs to help make this housing available to our community. Stand for any questions.
And that has traditionally been for the 5-year period in years past also.
Yes, they usually utilize both of those incentives to help offset their costs.
Can you just explain a little bit, because it's been a while since we've had one of these, this memorandum of agreement between the city and Habitat for Humanity?
That memorandum was reauthorized this summer, I believe in July, and it just sets out the terms that we do business with them in these types of items. So usually that has more to do with other types of pieces.
So this MOA has already been signed, we just didn't have a signed copy in the packet?
It was done a year or two
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah, it's
That
a
was my impression.
continual
Yeah,
MOA that we
I-
utilize with Habitat.
That's what I thought. It says Leroy at the time was the mayor. But just reading the details, just wanting to make sure I understood what the city's
We have
role.
old CDBG funds that
Yeah.
we use, and it's like 180,
180,000.
and it just keeps getting rolled back in because people have to pay a payment once we give them. 45,000 is what the last
Okay.
one we've done. It's 30 to 45,000 usually, and then they pay that in there. They don't have any interest or anything like that, so it's just 20 years, and we just reuse that money all the time. It just keeps building and building.
Donna, I think we actually have an error in the packet. While that MOU is correct, that's not actually the issue at hand. That was utilized in last year's, and so it seems like for some reason on this attachment, I apologize for the error, but that attachment should not be on this piece. That MOU is not applicable to this. This is just a fee waiver request,
Okay.
and
Okay.
their fee waiver attachment, and I apologize, I should have reviewed the packet a little closer. Their fee waiver application.
Well, that's really what was in the memo, but the
Yep.
MOU was, I just wanted clarification, so.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. So yes, this is just the fee waiver for the building, and usually there's a building permit, and so I apologize for that error. This is simply for the fee waiver.
Well, no
Those fees
worries.
listed.
It's clarified and it's good.
Okay. I need a motion then.
I would make that motion.
I'll
Second.
second. Oh, Leroy. Give it to
Got a
Leroy.
motion in 2 seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, next item, we have a bid and a contract award on Cow Palace Sewer Project. How did that go, Suzanne?
Yes, Commissioners, we opened bids for this project on January 18th, and at the very last page of your packet is the bid tab. And we had, I think it was five different bidders. We had good bids, came in under the estimate, and the low bid was from Newton Ope Construction. The total of their bid was $456,588.50. And if you award bids on this project, remember this is paid via the petition. This is a petition project that Full Vision requested, and the city is paying a portion of this. We're paying 20% up to, it's $139,000 some odd dollars and change of the project, because if you recall, Full Vision asked to be annexed because they needed sewer, and they are in the middle of an expansion project. And so we will start working on the sewer once we get this awarded, and the sewer construction would start this spring.
So that 20%, it's a maximum of 20%? It's a cap of the one, clarify that for me, please.
Yes, in the petition, because you had a development agreement of sorts with Full Vision, that the city would pay 20% of the sewer costs because they're coming in, and you would generate some taxes through that for them coming into the city. And in the petition, it states 20% up to $139,000 some odd dollars.
So our part of this would be 90 grand?
No, it's 139,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Because it's like 695,000 total.
This is just the construction. There's design costs,
On top
and there'll
of
be inspection costs. So the total, you'll see in the resolution, is $695,000 some odd dollars and change.
136.
Okay.
Well, I make a motion that we approve the bid to NOAC Construction.
I second that.
Got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. No one signed up for citizens forum. Is there anybody here that would?
Yes.
Yeah.
Kristen is
Okay.
over here, and she would like to speak. She came in a little bit late and wasn't able to,
Okay.
so.
You're welcome to do that now. State your name, address, and, yeah. Freight cell?
We'll do it this. Okay, so my name is Kristen Hamill-Turner, and my address is 115 West 9th Street, and it's apartment 610 here in Newton at Midtown Towers. Basically, we are having major issues with management, especially after Kim has retired. Jolyn is doing pretty much whatever she wants to do. She is picking and choosing what she wants to out of the lease. She's not following it. She is being unreasonable completely. She has made many errors in, she had sent me a lease termination, at which I'm fighting, and I have a court date set on the February 2nd on that to speak for the judge. I have all the documentation stating why she can't do what she's doing, being that I know this lease like front and back. I studied it, like that forced me to study. And the number 29, there's a domestic violence clause in there, and I got in there for basically domestic violence, and it is stated that at that point, they have to basically renew that, because it was domestic violence. And my ex left me with a huge amount of utility bills that I can't even begin to turn on at this moment in time. I mean, that unfortunately, as much as I don't want to be there, and I look over my shoulder continuously, just wondering what she's going to come up with next against me, or what I'm going to find on my clip when I get back, which I found another thing on my clip today, for a friend that doesn't even live there, that she assumed does, and sent a no trespassing notice to him, which was completely uncalled for. She didn't even ask to see if he lived there, if he had someplace else to live, or whatever. He hasn't even been there 14 days. I pay my rent on time. I am not late for anything. Yes, I've had a few violations. I'm not going to say I'm the perfect tenant. I'm not. I'm human. I've made my mistakes. I've not destroyed. I put up a ceiling fan, yes, but it was only $25. I had someone install it for me that knew what they were doing because I couldn't afford the $65 charge for the maintenance to put it up. And I made sure that they got it back. I took it down to the maintenance room, and I made sure they got their property back. I didn't trash it or anything like that. I didn't destroy it. I made sure they got it returned. I've done everything in my power to do what I need to do. Basically, this has started since my best friend passed away. Jolyn has not liked me since he moved in there. That was about 7 years ago. I used to stay with him off and on. I didn't really have any place to stay. And at that point in time, it was 55 and older only or disabled. And I was only like 40 at the time. So it made it really difficult. It was Kim and Brett basically that allowed me to get in there. Kim gave me benefit of doubt and let me come in. Like I said, I've made a few mistakes. I've had some issues with medication changes and things like that, which I corrected. I've have documentation on all of that. And then the latest thing is my counselor has written a letter just stating that it would be detrimental to my health at this point in time and to my situation to kick me out, to terminate my lease, being that I don't know how I'm going to turn the electric on. Now, after I received that 60-day notice, that she courtesy notice with no explanation as to why they are letting me go, I had sent her a letter saying I wanted to talk to her, and I was giving her permission because my mother wanted to talk to her, to talk to my mother. My mother called and talked to her. Her explanation was Kristen doesn't follow the rules. And when my mother asked her to expand on that, she couldn't. Because I don't know what rules I did to follow because I follow all the rules there are, So, but she wouldn't expand on it at all. But I went ahead and I tried to find someplace else to live with the 60-day notice. I didn't realize at the time I was going to end up having to pay electric, but I did try to find someplace else to live. I was approved. I am approved at Newton Plaza Apartments with Melissa. Melissa got me approved for my background and my financial, no problem, with my son. When it came to the landlord verification, she got no response whatsoever, zero, from Jolyn. She has sent the verification over twice in December and once in January. No response from her at all, nothing. How can I do what I need to do if Jolyn won't do her part? Because Jolyn doesn't care. Jolyn doesn't want me here. She doesn't want me there. She doesn't want me anywhere. She just wants me out, homeless, period. Because Jolyn doesn't care. I wrote her a letter. I explained all this to her. I explained that the letter from my counselor was coming. I have a letter from Karen at Safe Hope stating that I do work with their organization. And it's with that and with all those, and then I guess one of the basic things that started it was that I had made a service call, and I do not call the office for anything because Jolyn and Courtney intimidate me. They intimidate me so bad. They make me feel horrible. They make me feel like I'm nothing. She treats everybody that way, pretty much, because we're disabled or we're low income. Therefore, we don't amount to anything, and we don't deserve the time or their energy or her understanding or her respect in any way. She does not have time for it. She doesn't care at all, period. I realize that she has to be tough in this position sometimes, understandable. But she also has some understanding and compassion, and Jolyn has zero, none for anyone. What she wants is to go back the way it was with all senior citizens that go to bed or get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and go to bed at 6 o'clock at night, where nobody has any friends, nobody comes over, nobody does anything, you know? We don't even have a tenants association anymore. No bingo, no nothing, no absence. Nobody wants to deal with Jolene. No one, you know. And other people, I guess, don't want to step outside of that little bubble because they're afraid that Jolene's going to retaliate. And you know what? To me, I mean, this is my home. This is my life that we're talking about now that she's trying to do. I've done everything I can to try to rebuild a relationship with my son that my ex almost destroyed, to pull myself together, to file for disability. I've just been diagnosed recently with some medical conditions, and I'm doing everything I can. But she doesn't care about any of that, nothing, you know, and, you know, and what started was an AC call. I could not get my AC to come on. I was out for 2 days with the condition I have, which is lupus, basically. I get nauseous if I get really, really hot, and I was hot. And for 2 days, I was sick. So finally, I had no choice but to call the office because I did everything I could in my power to fix that stupid thing, to turn it on, to get it to work, to do anything. I don't care what it's something. And I couldn't. It took me like 30 minutes to work up the nerve just to call the office for a maintenance call. During that call, I asked him to call me to let me know what the status was going to be, like if they were coming or what time they might be there. Got no response. After 2 hours of waiting and being hot, Kathy Bishop and I decided to leave. We went to Wichita just to get out of the hot apartment. I did not get back in town till about 7. Well, I did not hear from them. So 2 hours later, and I gave them time. 2 hours later, I called again to see what the status was, if they'd been out there, what was going on. Still no reply. 2 hours later, which is 2 minutes till 5, I called again. Again, no response from him, nothing. In fact, he actually went next door to my neighbors and wanted my neighbor to call me or text me. Now, I don't know when NHA employed my neighbor to be maintenance for the day because she was not compensated in any way for that. And it's just not her responsibility. It's theirs. He could have called me from the box downstairs and would have rang my phone. I have screenshots of the whole day of phone calls. I received not one call. When I got home, there was also no note. They are supposed to leave, which is number, I think, 17, to leave a note when they enter your apartment. And Mike was standing there. He's been there, 20 years, and didn't say anything. And in that sentence of him telling me that he's like, we will never call you on a maintenance call, and then turns around in the same breath and says, I tried to call you several times and you did not answer. No, you didn't. I have no missed calls, no spam, no restricted, no unavailable, no nut. He did not in any way, and Kathy can verify that. Because I was sitting on my phone waiting to hear from him, because had he just called, I would have never called again. You know, I would have been, okay, well, I haven't been home yet. You know, just go ahead and enjoy the rest of your day or whatever. When I get home, I'll let you know. You know, there's no reason for him to go back out there again if he'd already been there, but I didn't know that. And I didn't even know that when I got home. I didn't find that out till Monday morning when they came and yelled at me. And Jolene charged me a $50 service fee because I had them come out on the weekend and called several times. Well, the only reason I called several times is because I didn't hear from him. And I didn't know they'd been in there. You know, that's not right. You know, so she, you know, she's given me with that, and I called her out on it. And it took me more than the 7 days because I had to process all of that. It took me a minute to try to come to terms with everything that he had said, how he acted, you know, the things that he did. And when I did finally get back with Jolene, which was I think about maybe 10, 11 days later, she said, I told her that, you know what, this is not fair. I explained exactly why. And I said, you know what, I'm going to go to the board. If you're going to continue to charge me this fee, I said, I'm going to go to the board. I said, because this isn't right. Come November 1st, I got the termination notice on my door. It's a courtesy notice with no reasoning whatsoever behind it, nothing.
So did you have a chance to go to the board?
I actually went to the court today. They sent me, this time she filed an actual eviction, Chapter 61 eviction. The other ones was a courtesy notice. Then on that petition that I got on my door, there was another attachment that said 30-day notice, courtesy notice. That never happened.
Is there some process that you go through that brings the board of, is it called the Board of Eight?
Or the Newton Housing Authority Board, Mayor?
Yeah, yeah.
Have you spoken with the Newton Housing Authority Board?
I don't know who to contact. That I was basically kind of informed that the city council is basically over Jolene. I mean, she's the director.
And I
don't know.
can just clarify that. The city commission appoints a board, the Newton Housing Authority Board, and the Newton Housing Authority Board is responsible for employing that director.
Okay.
So we can get you the information for the Newton Housing Authority Board if that would be helpful.
Yeah, it would be helpful.
They-
Go ahead.
They do have a meeting coming up on the 25th at
Okay.
6:15 PM.
Okay, all right. Will you write that down, please? And then my court date is set for, I'm sorry, what day was that? November, or the 25th, what?
The 25th at 6:15 PM.
26th.
Well, I would imagine
that
it's at the
here?
housing, I'd imagine it's at the Housing Authority in their boardroom over there, down in the,
At the towers?
yeah, mhm.
Okay, will Jolene and Courtney be present for that?
Yes, probably.
Okay.
I think
I mean, that's good in a way, but
Yeah.
at the same time, it tips my hand, you know?
we could get you the names of the board members. Maybe you could contact,
Okay,
find out who the chair is, and you could contact the
Okay.
chair and explain to the
okay.
chair what your problem is. Now, did I get it from you a while ago? You have a chance to move somewhere else, and by them not doing the form, they're keeping you from moving somewhere else?
Yes, but now here's my other problem with moving somewhere else is I have to have the electric to be able to be turned on in my name, and I don't know, with a $2,800 electric bill outstanding, that is going to fall on me. He's not going to take care of it in any way, shape, or form. I am gonna have to find out how that is even gonna be possible, or even if I can afford to even begin to turn it on, you know, because I can't get into the apartment without being able to turn the electric on. So right now, my best bet, even though I hate it there, and I hate looking over my shoulder, and for the first, and I am the one that found my best friend passed away in his apartment. Jolene gave me about a week to mourn over that before she gave me a third smoking violation, of which was not verified in any way. They said they had camera footage on it. When I asked to see it, I was told I was not allowed to see it. I was not allowed to see what evidence they had to go to forward it. I was not allowed to see any of it. As far as the 30th goes, on that other notice that they said they sent to me on December 1st, that never happened either. It never came in the mail, nor did it ever go on my clip. And camera footage, again, will prove that. But that's a matter of if you can get a hold of the camera footage, because Jolene doesn't like to give it out.
Well, I would get with Denise and Chris and get yourself a game plan. If there's others that are having the same problem, you need to find the person on that board. Really, I think our only authority is by appointment to that board.
That's right.
Okay.
But we don't really like what we're hearing, so
I mean, Jolene no one's monitoring Jolene in any way. I mean, she's like picking and choosing what she wants and doing what she wants. I have a friend that got a termination notice today. I got my other friend that's here when I was gone in court. When I got back, of course, on my clip, of course, imagine that. There was a notice saying that he is no longer allowed on the property. He was trespassed. He's not allowed on the towers. He is not allowed in the offices of there. He's not allowed on Roanoke or the other one they have at all. And that's after tonight. And he has his own house. But I'm allowed to have friends. And see, the thing is, with this change after COVID and them letting everybody younger start to stay and move in there, that's a problem for Jolene. Because we have friends, we have, I say a love life, you know, or whatever, but we have, you know, we do have things, you know. We're not there retired or widowed or, you know, almost, I hate to say on deathbed or whatever, you know. But I mean, you know, we have things going on, and Jolene does not like that because she cannot put her thumb on that and keep everybody in control. She has no, that doesn't work for Jolene.
well, we are real interested in what goes on there. So if you could meet with staff, come down here as soon as you can. They'll give you everything you need to do to
Okay.
get in the right channel.
Yeah, because I mean, not only am I having problems, I know Tish over here is Salvation Army. They can get no response from Jolene when
Yeah.
they call to verify. She has problems with Jolene and Courtney. It's. Did you want to say anything, Tish, too?
My name's Ricardo Castillo.
Okay. Huh.
Well,
I
you
live in-
you can keep telling the stories and stuff, but
No,
it
I'm
isn't going to
just trying to
change
say
what,
that-
Right, I
the
understand.
pathway. So,
And-
so just get with them
Okay.
and know we care
Okay.
about what's going on down there, because
Thank
we
you.
do own the property. The city of Newton owns that property.
Okay.
And then after you meet with them, if you could report back to staff, how that
Sure.
went.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, and I would like to try to get with Melanie too, to see if there was something, Melanie can do for, that type
Yeah.
of thing too, because, she's out of hand. She's
Yeah.
out there.
well, keep us posted,
I will.
and thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you so much
Yeah.
for listening, so.
Okay. We have a couple of executive sessions to go into.
Yeah, Mayor, we don't anticipate action following those executive
Okay.
sessions.
Which one you want to do first?
You can go in the order, real estate, and I don't know if you want to go around the horn first or not.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's go this way this time. Leroy, have you got anything you'd like to
Not at this
share,
time.
comment on?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, thank you. None.
Just thank you to all.
No, thank you.
Wow. That was quick. Okay, I don't really have anything either. I could tell a couple jokes, but probably better not. So, okay, somebody want to read?
And I think we can move quickly on this. If
Yeah.
we call it 7:40, we can be in and out on the first one.
Okay.
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 I move that the city commission recess into executive session to discuss the acquisition of real estate located within the city. The justification for closing the meeting is to conduct preliminary discussions regarding the acquisition of real property. Time and place at which the open meeting shall resume is 7:40 PM here in commission chambers.
I second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed?
I move that the city commission recess into executive session to conduct discussions with legal counsel. The justification for closing the meeting is to consult with the city attorney to discuss matters privileged under the attorney-client relationship, and the time and the place at which the open meeting shall resume is 7:50 PM at the city commission chambers hall.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?